One Love and Wellness. Welcome to Happy Heart Hour, episode 1, part 2. Happy Heart Hour has entered its third season, and we're going to focus this season on mental health. Well, at least the first part of the season. So, because of the month of October being Mental Health Awareness Month, October also having Halloween in it, which I do want to share with you an event that I'm going to have the end of the month. But I'm starting by preparing your mind for what I'll be talking about at that time. Some of the concepts that I have learned, some of the things that I apply, some of the programs that I have had to reprogram and or apply to my mental capabilities. I also want to make a correction. Yesterday I said that Einstein's IQ was 140. It's actually 160 on record. Walter O'Brien, the show that I spoke about, the Scorpions, where you have these high IQ folks getting together and becoming, I suppose, a solution group, a group of folks that are the go-to people when all the other minds aren't capable. They group these minds together, and apparently this was a real story. So his Walter O'Brien's is 197, 160 is Einstein, 140 was mine. So my apologies for mixing Einstein's IQ with my IQ, but in the meantime, that may very well lend to how we adapt to others, adapt to going beyond the borders of the average thought process, accepting a variety of things based on some scientific research or results or personal findings in my case, because I am, science and math were were two of my favorite subjects. Music was my most favorite, and apparently incorporates math in the music. I did. And there's a cartoon years ago I watched that was about how music became, how it was measured, how it became. I don't know how to say it other than how you could score the notes. Okay, it is a mathematical equation. Jazz is a little bit of a altering of those rules, regulations, and seeing it in a different manner. But just to say this, what's going on at the end of the month, by the time I finish talking to you between now and then, Heart Happy Hour will have you ready for the thrills, the chills, and the bumps that go in the night. And of course, I'm in the nation's capital. I'm in Washington, D.C. So I grew up around some areas and lived in some houses that had some other stuff going on, some supernatural phenomenons, and numerous other things that were, let's just say this, in the state of Washington, they actually openly see their, I want to say, it's not called extraterrestrials, it's not called UFO anymore. There's new lingo, there's new language that they use towards it, because there's so many, there's so many bad connotations to those names. Folks will have you committed for saying you've seen some of these things. I mean, in the beginning stages, the early ages, it was sort of a forbidden phenomenon. You were not supposed to detect these things with your senses. Your senses have been dialed down. You've been dumbed down. We all have gone through a phase of stripping us of all of our extra sensitivities. There are some people, some gypsies, some soothsayers, as they say, some folks that have been able to, whether it's make a living or come to grips with the fact that they have the potential for these things. There are folks that make a living of these things, or, like for the presidents, astrological, cosmological information has been included in their activity since antiquities that I am familiar with. Certain things happen at what they call high noon. The cowboys did the showdowns at that time. But there are also things that we ritualize that we don't even think about, like a happy birthday song, our solar return. Like the fact after, for years, folks would say, happy birthday and many happy returns. What returns? And folks say now more so than ever, happy solar return. And when they say many happy returns, myself, I include the word solar because, that's kind of like, that is the deal. Excuse me. So, but there's a place in Washington, I forget Lake something or other that it's near, but it's a place called Eceti Ranch. It is a private kingdom in the United States, and ECETI, that ranch. Oh, they offer night watches. They offer weekend campouts. They offer year-round camping. I guess the coldest months of the year they might not include the outsiders as much. But probably outsiders aren't as interested in participating. But to say this, they have the unidentified objects scooting through their sky on a regular basis. And I'm even told that as you come into proximity of this place, you can actually sense and feel the energy change. A couple of people that were riding in the car together, as they got closer, they went through what felt like a boundary. I don't know if you ever saw the show Once Upon a Time. They had a boundary of their city, and it wasn't visible, it was energetic. And so when you rode through that boundary, you could feel, going through that boundary, that energy that you were coming out of and going into, you could feel the difference of the two. So again, today, welcome to Happy Heart Hour. We're talking about mental health awareness, and so I want to share with you about what I've come across. I've been able to assist people with schizophrenia, bipolar, and even relate to folks who have dementia, which to me has the basis of the word dimensions. In my opinion, what I have found, I see that they have like no concept of time. They don't see the past, the present, or the future. They see the now, and the now is inclusive of each of those realms, dimensions, or perspectives, paradigms. They see it, and that's why they'll see, if they're looking at you, they may see your mother. If they're looking at your child, they may see them at a different age or a different time, or the genealogy, the lineage that they come from may be seen as an eventual of that person or the preceding of that person. So schizophrenia, bipolar, I believe they have a similar response to the dimensions. They're actually supersensitive. They're perceiving things that we are not perceiving. The average person doesn't see. There are those that can capably see these things and can assist them in getting to a better perspective, so that it's like their vertical and horizontal holds have come loose. And instead of being able to tell and fine-tune and tune into a particular day, time, and location, they have a broader spectrum of what is visible or not visible to certain eyes that see in a certain way. So this ranch, I'm not touting them, I'm not saying go there, I'm saying I did some research, and my research discovered that they also have a lot of healing classes, awakening classes, workshops, and so on, that are conducted there. And they still do the in-person thing, and this is what I found funny, which is that they will not allow you, if you have a If you've received any of the shots, one or consecutive or whatever, the boosters, any of that, you are not welcome to their facility in person. So I just kind of want to mention there is that perspective as well in our society. Those that have taken it have a affinity not to want to be around those who haven't, and those who haven't also have that same perspective that they may not want to be around those that are vaccinated. And this particular group has decided, if you've been vaccinated, they don't want you among them, because they have a different mindset. They're under a different regulation, rule, policy. This is what they have come up with. So they will, you can participate via Zoom or whatever other virtual participation that is allowed for their training and for their courses. So this is part 2, because I wanted to say some of the corrective things from yesterday, also to extend further information and details about what's coming up at the month. But let me go down my list and see, is there anything else that I want to speak with you about? Oh, in reference to esoteric wisdom, questioning reality. That is something that the person who is able to think outside the box, the person who is able to be, most times creative people, people who are musicians, people who have an artistic side to them, that is tapping into the God energy of you. That is the creative energy. A man or a woman can house that creative energy to create artistic expressions and birth those creations as projects of their artistic endeavors. Those are healing therapies to me. I am, my company is Love+Art equals Wellness, and we have a variety of workshops that we offer, that we have for you to expand some of your sensitivities, to get in touch with that creative genius inside of you, that creative God energy, that God spark that we all possess, being able to use it and take it to another level. I believe that therapy, the therapies that I offer, which also have laughter therapy, I also have therapies that help you to prescript your life, meaning where you do mantras, where you do guided meditations, you make your own. I have a list of all kinds of things. If you go to my website, Love+Art equals Wellness, you'll find those. But what I wanted to express was, in questioning reality, our brain works with the applications that we program ourselves or allow ourselves to be programmed with. I think movies, books and stories, things like The Matrix, the Harry Potter, they are helping us to open our mind to other concepts that we hadn't been as open to before. And after years and years of bombarding us with these kinds of movies, there is now a revolution of folks who are seeing things in the fashions of art as life. For instance, before the Matrix movie came out, I had some Matrix moments. Before Harry Potter came out, I had some Harry Potter things to happen. In particular, walking through walls as a child and as an adult. And I mean, I've got people that can verify, validate, and confirm, as witnesses of the things that have happened to me, and a variety of people, men and women, young and old, children in particular. As something that I saw when I was researching ESETI, which is the ranch, the private kingdom in the United States in Washington State. They have their own zip code, their own, it's a kingdom, and if you had a chance to run a kingdom, you could see these things. But what I wanted to share was, in addition to, which I mentioned, you can feel the change in the energy as you go into proximity of this particular ranch. They also are picking up things like during their meditations, which, meditation is when you can go inward. You can do meditation in all kinds of ways. Meditation is a way to relieve stress. It is a way to possibly sleep better, to organize your thoughts, to get downloads from your spiritual self, to help you in many ways, to alert you to things. I spoke yesterday about listening to the inklings of your spirit, or the subconscious nudges or notions that you receive, in addition to listening to those voices, and being able to distinguish whether it's outside of you, which there is a thing that the military has done, and countries and other scientific groups are doing things like remote control, which means that outside of you, the person has been able to get control of some of your motor functions, some of your brain activity is being monitored and or influenced by external, and that's not just for these programs. That there are people who are innately capable of doing these things. Some people that are taught these things, police officers or others that are taught this kind of information. I don't know to what degree. I don't want to go into the specifics of how it's being used. I can't say that and validate one way or another how it is or isn't used. I just know that it's a part of their training. I do know that military has done a lot of remote viewing of various things, and we are capable of those things as well once we are aware of, well, where is that notion coming from. As I said, I'm going to tell some of the intimate stories of the things that have happened at the end of the month. The 29th, the 30th, and the 31st of the month, I'll be doing a virtual ghost story setting event, and it's called Haunted Tales and Mythical Truths. You can find it, the link is below, but it is on Eventbrite, it is on Facebook, it is on Instagram. You can look these things up. It is not free, but it is open for donations, so you can give according to what you feel and what your desire is, how well you learned, what you thought of it. Or you can just say, I'm happy for this information, and share a blessing for the blessing, which I am going to get on the deeper side of the darker side of the things that have happened in my life, daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, every year of my life since I was 5. The event that happened when I was 5 years old, opened my mind to the rest of the wonderful things that have been happening to me ever since. And I have now gotten to a place where I feel I've mastered many of the things that I've been exposed to. For instance, I'll tell you this one story. I had a dream of someone in particular that was the author of the book that I had just finished reading. Now, the author of the book in this dream was a child, and I knew that it was that person. This person took me through, I guess you could say, like an initiative, and I became an initiate. They took me through the ropes. They raked me over the coals. And as a reward for reaching new levels, because I kept rising to new levels, and I mean, he actually raised me to new, my physical body was raised to another level, to another level, to another level. And so in that dream, they had given me my reward, and ended up when I woke up, that reward was in my hand. It had manifested from that realm into this and now. And I don't know what to call this realm right now, but the Earth's, I don't even want to say that, but just this planet's atmosphere. So I was able to, it was a tangible thing that I was able to bring back. Now, as a child, I had done something very similar. I'll describe that later, and I'll give you full details of that. But as of now, I just want to give you this. Click one of the links below and join us for these haunted tales and mythical truths. Otherwise, stay tuned to part 3. Yes, I will be doing a part 3 of episode 1. This is part 2 of episode 1. Thank you for joining me for Heart Happy Hour, season 3. And we are going to conclude at the end of the month of October with this mental, what do you call it, mental health month awareness. There we go. And move on to a fuller health process, I'll be doing a workshop for my 5 words of wellness. And that is a holistic view that includes your mind, your body, and your spirit. So we'll talk more about that later. Again, I'm Precious Mother Love. Let's see if I'm able to bring back some of this wonderful music. One Love and Wellness. Keep on doing what you're doing, baby. That's me and my partner, Dion, the entertainer. When you do it, oh, you do that thing. One Love and Wellness. See you again soon. Stay tuned. There's more to come at you.